You're listening to Radio Azad, and this is your host, Aisha. And as part of our Ramzan interview series, I am so happy to welcome Susan Adams. She is the president of the board of directors of an organization that we value so much in our community, the Texas Muslim Women's Foundation. Radio Azad has had a long standing, wonderful relationship with TMWF and really endorse and highly support the great work that they do. Hi, Susan. Assalamu alaikum.
Hi,
How are you?
alaikum salam. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. So much to talk about, given the times that are around these days. But first, I'd like you to give our listeners a little bit of an overview about what is the Texas Muslim Women's Foundation mission, and a little bit about the services that you all provide.
Absolutely. So we're really proud to be serving the community now for 20 years. This is our 20th year in existence. And we provide a whole range of services to all members of the community. This includes Muslims as well as non-Muslims, men and women. And we provide services to survivors of domestic abuse, people that need help in the community. We have a lot of different services that we provide. And we're just really proud and honored to be serving the community for this amount of time.
Hmm. So I know that there are many different services and a lot of different hats and umbrellas that you all do. If you can briefly tell our listeners a little bit about those.
Right. So we do have two emergency shelters that are available 24/7 for people that need support, like they urgently need to be out of an unsafe situation. So we have those available. We also offer transitional housing to our clients, so to help them reestablish in their lives once they've managed to get out of an unsafe situation. Um, we have social workers, case managers that help with navigating the system. We have attorneys that are there to provide legal services for those that need it. We also have a senior house, which is one of our more recent projects. So we have housing for seniors that need someplace to stay, that maybe have had an unsafe situation. Unfortunately, that does happen. And so we have that specific type of service available. And
Mhm.
then we also have recently started a social enterprise, which is called Food for Good, and it's a catering service. And so it provides opportunities for some of our clients, many of whom are refugees, members of immigrant communities and refugees, to use their excellent cooking skills to provide delicious food to the community, and it's a way for them to develop employment skills, and earn income to help them establish their new lives.
What a wonderful initiative. And I have tried their food, and it is really delicious. And these women, they take so much fierce pride in what they are doing. So I think it's a great initiative for the community to get involved in it. And basically, it's a catering service, right? So they can cater for corporate events as well.
Right? Or for like your Ramadan iftar, if you have something that you want catered, if you're having a party, they can do that. We also
Mhm.
have baked goods, all kinds of things that are great for sharing, especially during Ramadan when we're all trying to think of ways to make our cooking a little bit easier, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, what drew you to TMWF, Susan?
So I have an interesting, I guess, backstory. I'm a lawyer, and I, for 10 years, was providing pro bono legal services to TMWF,
Mhm.
corporate legal services. I'm not brave enough to be a family lawyer or an immigration lawyer. We have
Mhm.
experts on staff that provide those services to the clients, but I was
Mhm.
providing corporate legal advice. And then it's few years ago, they asked if I would join the board, and I was really honored to do
Mhm.
that. And so, yeah, I've been Muslim, alhamdulillah, now for like over 20 years, and then working with TMWF for almost 15 years now. So,
That's a wonderful, wonderful backstory. And, it's so good to give back to projects and stories that you feel so passionate about, and you're able to make a difference as far as this is concerned. You also talked about seniors. I know this is one of the new initiatives that TMWF has been working with. Tell me a little bit about this.
yeah, so this is a great initiative that we've started to have a home that specifically caters to the needs of the seniors in our community.
Mhm,
And what we know you could always have the seniors going into the emergency shelter, but they have very specific needs, either healthcare needs or socialization needs. So when we have a separate home for them, they're able to be with other seniors. So they do a lot of fun projects. One of my favorite things on TMWF social media is that they'll share the initiatives in the senior home. So maybe they have a painting day or they have a cooking class day. So they get to have these enriching activities.
mhm,
Um, I mean, it's a really sad fact of the matter that domestic abuse is not only just necessarily between like a couple. Sometimes we see, unfortunately, that our elderly parents can be subject to abuse within their own family, which is really sad. We even have had clients where they were like kicked out of their family home where they've been living, and they're elderly. So obviously at that point, it's really, really difficult for them to have a place to go, to have someone to help take care of them. And so that's what the senior home is there for, to serve this
mhm.
need in our community.
It's very, very sad that we can't even take care of our own parents who have raised us and get abusive towards them. So I think it's a wonderful initiative that you all are doing. It's sad that it's needed in the first place. Tell me a little bit about somebody who may be listening to this interview or may not be familiar with the work of TMWF, but may be struggling with a domestic situation. What exactly does TMWF do to help somebody in this position? And why is there a need for a shelter?
Yeah. So, it can be quite a spectrum of abuse, and there are many different types of abuse. So a lot of times people only think of, the um,
Mhm,
what we see is, people come in, we have a hotline, so it's available on our website. When you call that hotline, someone is there 24/7 to answer your call. And
mhm,
they can direct you, either if you're in immediate like physical danger, to come into a shelter and have a place to stay and feel safe. But let's say maybe you're not necessarily in physical danger, but you're being emotionally abused, financially abused, and in other ways. We also can direct you to services. Our caseworkers, we have on staff counseling with psychologists to help you deal with that and understand what your options are and ways to heal from that. So it really is comprehensive. And
mhm,
we do provide services to everyone. So, if there's, statistics out there that talk about, I mean, a lot of times people think it's only a women's issue. There are men that are subject of abuse as well. And then, we do provide services to everyone in the community. So it doesn't matter if you're Muslim or non-Muslim. We have, culturally informed. We have, I think, over 30 different languages spoken on staff. So if you're, not comfortable communicating in English about these very personal, challenging things, there's somebody probably on staff who's going to be able to speak to you in your language.
hmm. Okay, that's very good to know. Um, these are trying times for nonprofit organizations, right? There is the risk that your federal funding is going to be cut. Tell us a little bit about this, and how are you dealing with this issue?
Yeah, it's definitely been a whirlwind over the past couple of months, with a lot of changes in the government. If you followed the news, there was, maybe like a couple, like maybe a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, there was an announcement that all of the federal grant funding would be paused, and then that was lifted, but it's still like an ongoing process of determining which federal grants will continue to be funded and which won't.
Hmm.
And the reality is that an organization like ours has historically been heavily dependent on federal grant funding. It's right now about 60% of our budget
Wow.
is from federal grants. And we don't have a lot of security right now in knowing whether those grants will ultimately be, continue to be given, or if something will change. So what we're doing is we're really going out to the community and saying, hey, this is a bit of a moment of crisis. We need our community's support. We're providing these services that are really crucial
Hmm.
for our community. And so we have a campaign during Ramadan right now, and we have a lot of actual like matching donor opportunities. So if you go to our website or to any of our social media, there's a Launch Good campaign there. If you donate, you have the opportunity to have your donation matched up to a certain level. And so we're just really trying to go back to our roots of where this organization started in the beginning, which was through all of the efforts of the DFW Muslim community and coming together and saying these are important services that we need to provide. And because we are Muslims, we want to help everyone who's hurting, everyone who's in need. We want to be able to help them. And so it's important for us to support this organization.
Absolutely. And then you have a fundraising iftar dinner as well, right? On the 15th?
That's right. Yeah. And I think there's still tickets available. So if you want to join us for our iftar, please visit the website. You can get tickets there, and we would love to have you, inshallah.
Okay, tmwf.org is that website. And on there, you can go to the launchgood.com/support TMWF, and you can make your donations. And remember this organization on our on air fundraising radiothon on March 19th. Susan, an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Just thank you so much for having me. And I hope that everyone's Ramadan is full of blessings, and that you'll consider TMWF in your giving this holy
Um,
month.
I mean, all the very best.